Okay, so here we go. We are starting Unit 1. We're going to start with the basics, and then we will lead up to the more interesting, fun stuff. So first things first, lab safety symbols. In case we actually get into the lab, I want you guys to have this knowledge beforehand. Okay, so lab safety symbols, I gave you some notes. Please use them to, if you can print them off, that's awesome. You can use like a Doc Hub type thing, Lumen, whatever it is, where you can actually like write on PDFs, just so you can have these notes. You're going to want them because there is a unit test. Yeah. So lab safety symbols, real quick. We have glassware safety. I'm going to put this over here, hopefully out of the way. Never, ever, ever, when you're in the lab or ever in my classroom, are you to use broken glassware, like ever. No, not even in my classroom, any science classroom at all, ever. Never use broken glassware because it can make things a lot worse. Never heat glassware that isn't thoroughly dried because you don't know what was on it previously and it can cause issues. So don't do it. Use heat-resistant gloves to pick up glassware. There is hot hands, hot mitts. Those type of things would be those would be what you would want to use to pick up glassware that was hot. And you always expect glassware to be hot, so keep that in mind too. When you're touching glassware that you don't know, assume it's hot. Always clean glassware thoroughly before putting it away. You don't want to leave residue on there because the next person who comes and gets it may not be as tidy and awesome as you, and they may accidentally, use it and cause an issue. Safety goggles should always be worn when using glassware. Anytime you're in the lab and we are doing anything in the lab, goggles will be used because your eyes are precious and we don't want to lose them. These show right up here, this top one, that is fire safety. That is heat safety, okay? Fire, heat. Safety goggles should always be worn. It's kind of like a thing. They should always be worn when working with fire, anytime. Never heat anything unless instructed to do so. You don't know what could happen if you do heat something up. So unless you're instructed, don't do it. Never heat anything with a closed container because the buildup of gases, you could cause a mini explosion. And yes, I actually was in a building where some kid left it on and the cork or whatever was on it exploded off, and it sounded like something exploded in that room. It caused kind of a kerfuffle. So yeah, never do that. Never reach across the flame. I would think that would be obvious. Just don't do it. You could get burned or your clothing could catch on fire. That'd be a no-no. Don't do it. Don't reach across the flame. Always use clamps, tongs, or heat-resistant gloves to handle hot objects. As before in the glassware, if you have tongs, there's certain types of tongs that you want to use. There's clamps that you want to use. Heat-resistant gloves, hot hands type things to handle hot objects. Have a clean working area. Yeah, you don't want papers all over the place because, yeah, they could catch fire, so don't do it. Know the location of the fire extinguisher and fire blanket. Now, when you come in my room, it will be directly to the left of you and just a little bit further down and, well, further into on the wall, further down on the wall, up a little bit is where the safety goggles are. Chemical safety. So, all right, here's a big thing. If you've taken chemistry, you know this. Never smell chemicals directly. Like, don't go right into whatever because you don't know what's in there. You don't know how you're going to react to it. It could be toxic. It could damage your windpipe, your lungs. Don't do that. So what you would do is you take the bottle, keep it away from you, and go like this. You waft it in. Never mix chemicals unless instructed to do so, because you don't know how things are going to react. If it will cause some toxin to come out, like a toxic waft coming out, you don't want to mix anything. You could cause an explosion. So don't do it unless instructed to do so. Never taste chemicals unless instructed to do so. Pardon me. Which goes along with the fact, don't eat or drink in a lab, period. It's not safe. Don't do it. Keep all lids closed when chemicals are not in use. You don't want to contaminate things or accidentally mix chemicals that you were not told to do so. Dispose of chemicals as instructed by your teacher. Some things can go down the drain, some things cannot. They have to be disposed of properly in special containers. Immediately rinse with water any chemicals that get on your skin and clothing and notify your teacher. So if something was to spill on you, go wash it off. You yell at me and say, hey, this got dumped on me. I will check to make sure everything's okay. Make sure you try and get your clothes cleaned off. If we were to do something of that nature, we would probably be in the lab room where there is hopefully a shower that you will take a shower, clean yourself off. Know the location of the shower and eye wash station. There is not one in my room. I am not sure where it is located in the lab room. So if you know, it would be awesome if you could write it, send me an email and let me know where it is. I will check probably a little bit later to see in the room. All right, eye and face safety. Must wear safety goggles at all times in the lab, always. When heating a test tube or bottle, always point away from you and others, because stuff can spurt out and you don't want it coming towards you. So always away from people. Sharp instrument safety. It looks like they cut their finger. Handle sharp instruments with care. Always cut materials away from you. If you've ever cut a potato, don't cut towards you. You can cut yourself. Cut away. Notify your teacher if your skin is cut. It is a bio issue. So I would have to have you go down to the nurse. We'd have to have things decontaminated because there is, your blood is involved. So you always let your teacher know, even if it's not me, if you cut your skin. Electrical safety. Do not plug more than 2 appliances in at any one outlet. You don't want to blow a fuse, especially in the school. I know there are several of them that have issues, so only 1 appliance per outlet. Never touch an electrical appliance or outlet with wet hands. Water conducts electricity, and let's not electrocute ourselves. That'd be bad. Keep liquids away from appliances and outlets. Again, they tend to be very good conductors of water conductors of electricity. Just don't do it. Animal safety. Not that we are going to have animal safety, but do not cause pain or injury to animals. In general, just don't do it. It's not cool. Do not perform inhuman stunts and actions with animal specimens. Treat them like a human. Do not hurt them just to test out your theory. Just don't. Wash your hands thoroughly after handling animals or their cages. You don't know what they've been in, so wash your hands always. All right. What does this symbol stand for? 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 I know it looks a little bit different. Think about it. What does this symbol stand for? What does this symbol stand for? And what does this symbol stand for? Okay, so that's it for the notes. You guys have a little activity that you're going to do. It's kind of like a connect which one goes to which. Make sure you submit that. And if you have any questions, please let me know.